Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Susan's Just Making It. I'm Susan and I'm here making stuff, messes, chaos, and just trying to make it through life. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if this is your first time watching, welcome to my channel. If you like today's video, don't forget the thumbs up, everybody. It's right down here. It takes a quick second to hit that thumbs up. It really helps my channel and it really means a lot to me. So happy Mask Monday, everyone. I am here with another Mask Monday, and I hope that your week is off to a great start and continues to be just as great as the week goes on. Today's Mask Monday, I will be using this Purely's sheet mask, the Blue Lotus and Seaweed mask. It's a treatment sheet mask. It says it's intensely moisturizing, soothing, and balancing, and it's for all skin types and combination skin. And this is a 15 to 20 minute sheet mask. So I'm going to do this mask today while I share some interesting beauty and makeup trivia type facts with everyone. Some of these I kind of knew a little bit about before I looked up a lot of this information and did some research, and some of it was new to me. So hopefully you guys will find them interesting as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mask on. Like I said, it was 15 to 20 minutes, and Purely's. I decided to do this today because one of the trivia facts has a little bit to do with the ingredients of this mask, and I did a watermelon Purely's mask a couple weeks ago that Wendy Jean from Unboxings with Wendy Jean sent to me in a birthday card, and I really liked it a lot. It smelled wonderful and my skin felt really great, and I'm definitely going to have to get my hands on some more of these Purely's masks because I really enjoyed that, and I'm hoping that this one is just as nice. So if so, I will be on the hunt to see if I can get my hands on some more. Just get it unwrinkled and throw this baby on. And it already feels really nice in my hands, the serum. And it does smell really pleasant. So that's great. Let's see if I can stretch this on our mirror here so I can see. Let's see. Smells really good. It's got, I don't know exactly what it smells like, but it does have a pleasant smell to it. And the serum, there's a lot of serum, but it's not like really drippy. It's a little bit thicker, which is nice. And it does smell really, really nice. So get that on there. Smooth it out a little bit, and then we'll get into some of these little trivia facts. I think after hearing some of these, you may think about things a little bit differently from now on. I have to admit, some of the beauty practices from the past were a little interesting. Some of them are current, some of them are from the past. And I remember the towel this time, guys. And I also remember this roller because I think I'm going to have to use it as it dries and comes loose from my face. So let's move that packaging aside, and hopefully I can do this without having to put my glasses on. So I came up with 15. I was trying to come up with 20, but a lot of the stuff that I was finding is, I think, pretty common knowledge or really not that interesting. So okay, the first fact I found was that red lipstick makes you look younger, and I thought, well, geez, what's to that? And actually they say that red lipstick makes you look younger because it accentuates the contrast between your features, which is a trait of a younger face. So I was not aware of that. I'm aware that most people can pull off red lipstick. It's just a matter of like the shade of red, but I know a lot of people are afraid to wear red lipstick, but you know, I think you just can try a few shades and see what works for you. But I was not aware that that was what red lipstick would do for you. So if you want to look a little younger, and most of us around my age, anything that will help, pull off that red lipstick. Number 2, which is another reason I picked this mask today. It says products which contain ingredients from the sea are especially good for your skin. And most of us are aware of that already. A lot of ingredients have sea minerals and seaweed and things like that. But the reason being is that our body plasma is very similar to the mineral content of the sea. So basically, when you use skincare products, even body care products for that matter, you're basically restoring your body's natural goodness because of the similarities. I found that really interesting. Like, I know that there's a very high percentage of our body is actually water, like our cells are made up mostly of water, but I didn't realize that the plasma and the sea minerals were so similar. But I guess it makes a lot of sense. So grab those skincare products with the sea-based ingredients, and I guess you're off to a good start. Another thing, the first deodorant, and they do consider deodorant a cosmetic, by the way, was available for like retail sale or on the market in the year of 1889. Was the first deodorant was marketed, and the name of it was Mum. And the first antiperspirant came 15 years later in 1903, and the name brand of that was Everdry. So that was interesting, you know, because I know people have been making their, you know, homemade deodorants and so forth for years and years and years, but I thought it was pretty interesting to find out when it was actually on the market and stuff like that. And I found it even more interesting that they do consider deodorant a cosmetic. I never thought that they would be categorized as such, but it is. They say the average lipstick has 293 swipes. There's quite a few things about lipstick in here. Lipstick is I think, the most prominent cosmetic product. Here was another one, and it's funny that I found this fact when I was looking. My Mask Monday is going up a little bit later today because I wasn't sure like what I wanted to talk about for Mask Monday. So I came up with the idea like last night, and this morning I was like trying to come up with the facts. I knew I wanted to do interesting beauty and makeup facts, but I had to kind of find what I wanted to include in my list this morning. So that's why my Mask Monday is a little bit later. And this next fact is interesting because actually I was watching a video last night that touched on this. Women of Renaissance Italy actually use belladonna drops, which belladonna means beautiful woman, to enlarge their pupils because dilated pupils were considered to be attractive during that time period. These days when you see somebody with dilated pupils, you're kind of questioning that a little bit, but anyway, as we all know, belladonna is a poison. So although it enlarged their pupils and dilated their pupils, and that was a beauty standard of the time, we all know that belladonna is a poison. So that didn't always end well after extended use. A lot of women that did this eventually ended up going blind. So, you know, there's that saying, the price of beauty. As I go through these, you'll have a much better appreciation for that term. Let's see, next fact. Elizabethan women use arsenic and quicklime for hair removal. And I don't know about you, but I think that I would stick with the hair before I use arsenic and quicklime because that's also known to kind of like burn your skin. So I don't know. I would think I would find a better alternative or stick with being hairy. Not the best hair removal method I could think of, I guess. Also, in the 18th century, most of us know, if you've are aware of any history of like cosmetics and beauty and stuff like that, that pure white skin was like the ideal. And the main reason for that was because they considered white skin to be something of people of privilege because you were indoors, whereas people with tan skin or darker skin were the ones laboring out in the field and, you know, out in the sun. So a white complexion was very sought after because that was the standard of beauty for like a lot of years and through history, quite a bit actually. But anyway, in the 18th century, the white complexion was sought after. So most cosmetics to achieve pale white skin contained lead. And I was already aware of this because I like to watch a lot of like certain periods of history, and I know Queen Elizabeth was a big one for using the lead-based makeup. Now the thing about that is because it had the lead in it, it would like basically eat away at your skin and cause a lot of damage to your skin. So their solution to this was to plaster on more of the lead-based white makeup to cover up the damage that the makeup was doing, if that makes any sense. These days we would probably question that, but back then I guess they didn't. So not only did it cause all the damage to their skin, making them use more, so you know, with prolonged use and you're just piling on more, it caused hair loss and obviously even death, you know, having all the lead. So not only did it like I said, eat away at your skin, mention the hair loss. So as a result of the hair loss, most of the time the women that use the lead-based makeup would lose their brows. So their solution to that was not to draw on brows, which people these days would probably do if they didn't have brows. They instead made fake eyebrows out of the pelts of mice. So basically they used mice skin to make fake eyebrows, which I was reading that and I was kind of like, it's a little disturbing, but I guess you do what you gotta do. I definitely would probably just get an eyebrow pencil and rock with it, but that's just me. Let's see, another thing, I think a lot of people might be aware of this already, but they would use, I don't know if they still do, I hope they don't anymore, but you never know, because I also found out doing this research that cosmetics are not very regulated. The FDA does monitor cosmetics to an extent, but not very much so. I believe I read that there are only 8 ingredients that are actually banned by the FDA, but there are very loose regulations as far as cosmetic products. So just an FYI, they're not really very heavily regulated. So that's another reason you may want to do your due diligence when using cosmetic products, because yeah, you just really don't know what they're putting in there. But back to the list. So this is number 8. Ground up fish scales can be used to add shimmer to lipstick and eyeshadows. And like I said, I think this is a relatively recent thing that's going on. I don't know if it still does or not, but I think it's going to make you look at those shimmering eyeshadows a little differently from now on. At least it had me kind of thinking about it, but I don't know. I'm on the fence with that. It's like, part of me, it's like I want to be informed, but part of me is like, what I don't know won't hurt me. And I know that's a really ignorant attitude to have, but sometimes they say ignorance is bliss. There's a reason there's that saying. This is an example of that. Ground up fish scales. I don't know. Number 9. In Elizabethan era, coal tar was used for eyeliner, mascara, and eyebrow pencils. Okay, I guess it was effective, but there were some definite drawbacks. First of all, I found on a few sources that they say it smelled absolutely terrible, and it's also flammable, and extended use would result in blindness. I also read somewhere that it was very, very difficult to remove. So I don't know, do the benefits outweigh the risk? I wouldn't think so. I guess people that weren't able to afford cosmetics and weren't into cosmetics might have been the smarter group, but just my opinion again. Okay, number 10. Excuse me. Yeah, this is one of those things that might have you questioning cosmetics too. Nightingale feces. Yes, nightingale poop was used in geisha facials, and what they did is they put it on wet and allowed it to dry, and the benefits were supposed to be that it diminished wrinkles and was supposed to be a great exfoliator. I don't know, I think I'd live with a few wrinkles before I put bird poop on my face, but then again, That's just me. Let's see. Number 11. Ancient Roman toothpaste contained ammonia. Where did they get the ammonia? Human urine. Yep, sure did. And it was supposed to whiten the teeth. Again, I think my pearly whites could have been a little less white when it came to putting human urine on my teeth. And I'm going to take this off just because, first of all, it's been about 15 minutes and my skin's a little itchy. I don't know if it has to do with the mask. Probably not. But, yeah, I'd rather not keep it on because I feel like my skin's like a little itchy on my forehead. Let's see. Number 12. When waterproof mascara entered the beauty industry in 1930, I want to make sure I get the right date, it was actually made of 50% turpentine. I'm sure all of you know, but turpentine is used to strip paint. I don't know that I'd want to be putting that on my eyelashes, but yes, and I read that quite a few sources, so I'm assuming that is very correct and accurate. I don't know. I question some of the beauty products of the past. Thank goodness we are in the years that we are, because I think women paid a big price for beauty. Even some of the stuff I read that I didn't include on a list, I was kind of shaking my head about. Oh my gosh, I think I would have just stayed ugly and not worried about using some of this stuff. Let's see. Number 13. While all other cosmetics were rationed in Great Britain during World War II, they were allowed to still produce lipstick. Winston Churchill was under the opinion that it boosted morale. Basically, while women were at home doing men's jobs, it just he felt like it gave everybody a boost, and it was like a whole morality thing. So they did continue the production of lipstick, even though a lot of other things were being rationed at the time. Number 14. Okay, I'm trying to look at something here real quick. The FDA didn't begin to regulate a lot of cosmetics until the year 1938. And like I said, to the modern day, it's very loosely regulated. Just a side note, while it's on my mind before I forget. I also read that, wow, blew my mind just a second. A thought comes in and it goes right out. FDA regulating cosmetics. Maybe it'll come back to me. One thing is, before I forget, that you can use almost any ingredient in cosmetics. Like I said, in the US, there's only 8 ingredients that are actually banned by the FDA. So, and maybe that other thought will come back to me. But anyway, the FDA didn't start regulating cosmetics till 1938. And previous to this, they had a product called, the brand name, I know I butchered, so I didn't even put it on here, but it was an Oriental Cream. And it was, the ad said it beautified the skin, and it contained mercury. Yeah, people were putting mercury on their face. But what it did was, over time, it resulted in dark circles around your eyes. It would cause you to lose your teeth and have black gums. So I would think that the long-lasting effects really weren't worth the short-term results you got. But it's just me. I wish that thought would come back. I get sidetracked, and like I said, my mind, it comes in and it goes out. It had something to do with the FDA, but I can't remember what it was. And the last fact that I wanted to share, which a lot of people, I guess, kind of wonder about, and I never really gave it much thought for the most part, but in the portrait of Mona Lisa, most people wonder, well, why doesn't she have eyebrows? And I know most of you have probably wondered that yourself. The big thing about the Mona Lisa painting is her smile and the eyebrow issue. Well, come to find out, in the 1400s, it was fashionable for women to have no facial hair, which means they shaved off their eyebrows, and they would actually pluck or shave, you know, a lot of the hair on their forehead to have a larger forehead, which during the time of like Queen Elizabeth I's reign, that was a big thing about like status and stuff, having a larger forehead. So yeah, did away with was quite a bit of hair at the hairline and no eyebrows. And I also read, but I only saw it in one source, it wasn't over several sources, that a lot of women would even pluck their eyelashes. Now to me, that just, the thought of it, like, I don't even want to think about that, has got to be extremely painful. It's painful enough to pluck your brows. Can you imagine plucking your eyelashes? I don't even want to think about it. It makes me kind of ill. It's got to be painful. And then, like, after I saw this fact, they talked about Mona Lisa and then the no facial hair. And even some women, not only would they do away with facial hair, they would also do away with the hair on their head. But then again, back in those times, a lot of people wore wigs, so I guess they probably didn't go around with bald heads. But anyway, it's like sometimes you read stuff and then other things start to click and make sense. I've watched a lot of like historical dramas about the Tudors and Queen Elizabeth and so forth, and then I started to think, you know, come to think of it, a lot of images and the movies that depict Queen Elizabeth first, a lot of them she doesn't have eyebrows, and she does have like a lot of her forehead, and that's because, you know, like I said, shaving the hairline, shaving the brows. And she, like I mentioned before, with the white skin, she was very guilty of using the lead-based makeup, and then it would, you know, cause a lot of damage to her skin, so she would just layer it on. I read that at the time of her death, she had approximately an inch of the white makeup on her face. That's a lot of makeup. And also, I didn't include it in my facts, but I also read that back in that era, red lipstick was said to like ward off evil and death. And also at the time of her death, it said she had approximately a half an inch. Half an inch is a lot, people, of red lipstick, what their lipstick was at the time, on her lips. So she had an inch of white makeup on her face and a half an inch of red lipstick. And it's kind of disturbing when you think about it. And the lead-based makeup that she wore also, like I said, resulted in a lot of hair loss. It was said, I've read in different history books and so forth, that she basically just had patches of hair because so much of her hair had fallen off. Now, granted, her hair was cut short because she wore wigs, but the hair that was there was very patchy because she experienced hair loss. And also, for those of you that are into history probably know as well, but those of you that may not know, back in that time, sugar was a luxury because it was imported from different countries. So only the rich and elite were able to indulge in sweet treats. And Queen Elizabeth I had an extreme sweet tooth, so she basically had very rotten teeth, and the hygiene back in those times wasn't the best. So it was said that she had, not only did she have rotten teeth, but she usually had very, very bad breath. And the thing is that since it was the elite that could partake in sweets and they had the rotten teeth, that commoners would actually kind of blacken their teeth to emulate like a higher rank. Like it was like a beauty thing, which now we would be like, okay, that doesn't make much sense. But it was a thing back then. And I wish I could really remember that what that was about the FDA, but I think that's it. Just an FYI. A lot of us probably aren't aware of this, and I was not until I read this morning. Now, you see lately there's so many lawsuits coming about, like class action lawsuits, because of the labeling of things and false claims, and that you pretty much have to pay really close attention to how things are worded on advertising and on labeling, because sometimes there's a fine line between the wording and there's false claims. Do you know that so many skincare products that you purchase will say dermatologist tested? found this out today. Just because it says dermatologist tested does not mean it's dermatologist approved. So just an FYI, and I bet you now that when you read skincare, you're going to be thinking about that. Just because it says it was tested does not mean it was approved. People really got to pay attention to the wording in advertising and on labeling, like diet versus sugar-free versus calorie-free and all that stuff. That wording does not all mean the same thing. So I was really shocked by that. It's something that before reading it, I probably would have never thought anything about it. Oh, dermatologist tested. This means it's been tested and this is good for you. Not necessarily. Just because they tested it doesn't mean they approved it. So something to keep in mind. So hopefully some of this stuff wasn't too disturbing. I was reading some of it, and there was a lot more than this. I just didn't want to put like 100 facts on. Some of the stuff I read blew my mind. Like some of the things that people would do for beauty, like, were lethal, and some of it was just gross. For example, I read that women back in, like, I think it was the 30s or the 40s, 1930s or 1940s, that they had a lot of, like, they had a powdered makeup when it went from grease paint to powder. And then they had a mascara. The original mascaras were not mascaras in a tube with a wand. It was actually like a mascara bar that was actually kind of like a soap with the color in it. And you used your own, it came with like a brush, a little brush. And you would dip your brush across the soap and then put it on your lashes for mascara. And actually, this is going to gross some of you guys out because it grossed me out. The like slang name for it was called spitback. Reason being is that when you put your brush in it, you would have to use some type of a liquid to be able to brush your brush through the soap. And the most convenient liquid for most women was their own spit. So they called it spitback because they would either lick the bar, which that's even grosser yet, or spit on it so that they could, it would be somewhat liquid for them to put the brush through and put. And as we all know, like, saliva has a lot of germs and bacteria and stuff, and in like their shelf lives, if you look at your cosmetics and skincare, it has the little jar with like 12 months, you know, 24 months, 6 months. It is, once you open it and start using it, that's the life that's left. And we're just throwing away eyeshadow palettes because we've used them for the 6, 12, 18 months, whatever, 24 months, whatever it says on there, because, you know, putting anything around any orifice, your eyes, your mouth, whatever, introduces germs and bacteria. And the thought that they were spitting on this and using it over and over really, like, grosses me out. And I'm sorry if it grossed you guys out, but we've come a long way, thank goodness. And there were a lot of other things I read that I was like really scratching my head about, and like, thank goodness we don't do that now. But like I mentioned, the FDA does not closely monitor cosmetics. There's only 8 things that are banned for cosmetics in the United States. So 50 years from now, people might be questioning the cosmetics that we use. Just something to keep in mind. I'm sorry. A lot of you guys are like, why are you telling us this? Knowledge is power. I don't know. Just because it's interesting. Don't come after me, people. So anyway, hope everyone's having a wonderful day, or was having a wonderful day before this video. And you guys are awesome. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Happy Mask Monday. Don't forget to like it, everybody, right down here. Hope you have a great day. Bye for now.